Members of the XRP family, we are grateful that you have returned to the channel. The price of XRP, on the other hand, is currently hovering around $3 at this second. As a result of this, it is abundantly evident that we are located above the confirmation zone, and this is also true on the psychological level. From a comparative standpoint, the value of Bitcoin had a decline of around 0.5%, whereas the value of USD experienced a gain of approximately 1%. With a trading volume of $4.2 billion over the course of 24 hours and a valuation of $179 billion as of the current moment, I would want to, as is traditional, make it abundantly clear that the content that is presented on this channel does not constitute any kind of financial advice. Make sure that you always conduct your own independent research. It is also recommended that you conduct study before to investing in cryptocurrencies. Guys, this is the chairman of the SEC who is coming out and saying these word for word, crypto time has come, said our dear old friend Paul Adkins, who is also the chairman of the Securities and Exchange Commission. Adkins is also the person who makes the announcement. In order to properly appreciate it, please take a moment. He would never have said that, but Paul Adkins is claiming that the time has come for cryptocurrencies, and he has given a lot of compliments about cryptocurrency over the course of the previous 24 hours. He has also stated that the time has come for cryptocurrency. Not even Gary Gensler would ever say something like that. The purpose of this conference is, of course, to shed some light on the significance of the cryptocurrency industry as a whole, as well as to shed light on the fact that the United States of America is going to be the global capital when it comes to the adoption of cryptocurrencies. Over the course of the past 8 months, we are obligated to give credit where credit is due in order to uphold the principles of fairness. In the realm of cryptocurrencies, a great deal of recent developments have taken place, such as the implementation of upgrades, the clarification of regulatory policies, and the modification of frameworks. The fact that a great lot has taken place, but not on this channel, is something that people have a tendency to dismiss for some peculiar reason. When it comes to giving credit where credit is due, we have a responsibility to do so, and in such a short amount of time, we need stock of how far things have moved. On the other hand, take a look at this altcoin season indicator, which has climbed to 67 from 29 the previous month, showing that the momentum of cryptocurrency is getting stronger. In the event that we are examining the dominance, are we surprised by the fact that it describes itself? And for a substantial amount of time, we have been anticipating that event with great excitement. As an additional point of interest, I am of the opinion that the decrease in interest rates would be the primary motivating factor behind it. According to statements made by David, the chief executive officer of Goldman Sachs, he is very certain that there will be a reduction in the interest rate of 25 basis points going forward. We don't need any kind of rocket science to come out and tell us that at this point, because we already know that. I'd like to share with you something that I think you might find interesting. It is planned that there will be a reduction in interest rates of 25 basis points. At this point, the probability of that happening is already extremely close to being 100%. The excitement comes in when we see a double, such as when we see a 0.50 BPS, and I believe that this indicates that the game is completely different. This is something that everyone is looking forward to. Nevertheless, I am of the opinion that this is pretty much set in stone, and I am of the opinion that the market, to be fully honest with you guys, I am of the opinion that the market is gradually but certainly pricing itself in preparation for the meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee. It seems that the market is beginning to retrace its steps 1 or 2 days before the meeting of the Federal Open Market Committee would take place, in spite of the fact that, according to ETF flows, around 741.5 million Bitcoin and 171.5 million Ethereum were acquired on September 10th. It would not come as a surprise to me if this were to take place. Give that some time to sink in. It is important for you to be aware that just a few weeks ago, we were observing the outflows and people were saying things to us like, oh, the outflows are happening, this and that, yada, yada, yada. And here we are once more witnessing the arrival of new funds. And to tell you the truth, we are witnessing some really large figures. I'll tell you that right now. To restat, it is of the utmost importance that we have a transparent comprehension of the reality that the demand factor for these digital assets is significantly more than it was in the years that came before. In addition, as you are aware, there is something that we are required to take into consideration. Furthermore, this is simply one more example that you may use to illustrate it. This clarity legislation is now being debated in the Senate, so you might want to have a look at it. The measure must receive a vote of 60 to 40 in order for it to be enacted, which suggests that its approval is entirely contingent on a sufficient number of Democrats coming on to support it. I would like to bring to your attention the fact that the measure to implement stable coins was accepted with a vote count that was greater than 60, which is a favorable indicator. In addition to the fact that Move Ahead, Green, and Shutter to Chat are also taking place, XRP net inflows are coming in from USD directly on Coinbase and Gemini. This is happening in addition to the fact that XRP is on the rise. Oh, the day came to $29 million, and the Securities and Exchange Commission has made the decision to postpone the review of the CBOE BZX proposal to list Franklin XRP ETF until November 14th. To get things started, I would want to have a discussion with each and every one of you about this subject today. To a certain extent, I would like to focus more of my attention on this. Consequently, they have made the decision to postpone the Franklin Templeton XRP ETF until the 14th of November. According to our thoughts, the timing is anticipated to be sometime during the month of October. It is still October. There are a lot of folks who are still thinking, these ETF filings, they are, when it comes to the total deadline, it is still October. Now, however, it is not at all logical that, we see some of them getting allowed in October, and then after that, we are going to see some of them getting accepted in November. This is something that, US doesn't make any sense. Over the course of a single day, it is going to happen, and you are going to be able to observe a big piece of it. The question that arises as a result of this is whether or not we believe that it has been delayed. How would you describe your personal thoughts? Let me know about them in the comments section if you don't mind. Take a look at what this particular person has to say about the matter. The idea that they are going to change the dates back is quite difficult to believe. There is a possibility that this is what we shall observe on the other 18th of October, which occurred during the month of October in its entirety. In your opinion, what are your thoughts on the matter? Let me know about them in the comments section if you don't mind. In light of the fact that dominance is being taken into account, let's have a look at the pricing situation. It should come as no surprise that the status of dominance is deteriorating, as this is an incredible sign. For those of you who have alternative cryptocurrencies, this is exactly what we are searching for. On the other side, Bitcoin is working toward the upset and is making progress toward it. Although we have not yet entered the M confirmation zone, the fact that we are currently moving in an upward direction does not change the fact that we are currently climbing. I have underlined the significance of focusing on this growing trend on multiple occasions, as well as in each and every update that I have provided. Furthermore, up until this moment, that has remained a factor in the situation. Even if the current price of XRP is $3, it is incredibly heartening to see that it is now at that price. We are still able to maintain our price above the psychological barrier of $3, despite the fact that we have had a brief period of time in which we have fallen below the key resistance. Be sure to take a peek at this WIC program, which is located at 316. I think that this is a very fascinating subject to discuss. In addition, I am of the opinion that